Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Om Sahanavavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sah Viryaṃ Karavāvahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishāvahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So yesterday we were seeing the person should not serve another person and start bad mouthing him. We saw that if you start serving him, you should not bad mouth him. Earlier he said a person who bad mouths his master is a lazy fellow. Now he says, instead of bad mouthing your master, you should bad mouth yourself, because it is your problem, it is your mistake that you didn't choose the right person to serve. Because earlier he said you have to serve even a person, you have to find if the person is eligible to be served. Is he qualified to be served? And even there, you have to understand, even if he is less wealthy, you have to serve him if he is a good person. So if you have to check it before you endeavor into anything, not after endeavoring, you have to check. That is not right way. So he says, okay, now yamāśritya viśrāmaṃ kṣudhārtā yānti sevakāḥ so arkavat nrupatirtyājyah sadā puṣpaphalo'pi san yam āśritya na viśrāmaṃ kṣudhārtā yānti sevakāḥ so arkavat nrupatihi sadā puṣpaphalo'pi san. Yam āśritya sevakāḥ kṣudhārtā na viśrāmaṃ yānti. After serving whom, yam āśritya, after serving whom, these people who do the service, kṣudhārtā, they are afflicted by hunger and thirst. Viśrāmaṃ na yānti, they don't have any time for rest. They cannot rest. They cannot. They are already in they have hunger pangs and all that, but still they cannot rest. That kind of nirvikalpaṃ, that kind of master, that kind of king should be given up. You should not serve him. Tyajya, how? Sa arkavat tyajya, like a arka. Arka, earlier I said arka means sun. And while explaining that word, I also told you a story about the arka tree. Arka tree is a crown flower tree. It's called crown flower tree. I told you the flowers will look like crown, very beautiful. We have a lot out here in the forest. We have enough of that. I didn't bring it because to show, because it secretes a milk and it's not a good thing. It's a poisonous thing. We have to wash your hand and all. So this flower, they are in two colors, two variants. One is white and the other is blue, a light kind of pinkish blue. Okay. Now this flower is used in North India for, they make garland. They remove the petals outside and inside it will be a crown, like they make a garland out of it, and they will use that garland for Shiva. In North India, it is used for Shiva. In South India, it is used for Ganapati. In Karnataka and Maharashtra, the middle of India, in south middle of India, it is like used for both Ganapati as well as Hanuman. Okay. Now, it is considered to be very auspicious for these deities. They make garland out of it and those flowers, and they worship him. And the leaves, if you pluck the leaf, there will be a milk secretion. It's not that good for you. Thing is, still it is. So we wash it and we take this leaf, and during the period of eclipse, after the eclipse, especially for some people who are afflicted by the eclipse, whose zodiac sign is afflicted by eclipse, that is particularly. But even otherwise, they take this leaf, put it on their head and take a bath, head bath. So you will not be afflicted by this eclipse defects, any kind of defects of eclipse. Eclipse defect is not the physical eclipse defect we are talking about. The eclipse defect which will afflict our zodiac sign. Nothing will happen like that. Okay. So that is, so these are all good things regarding the flower and the tree. If there is this fruit also, it will look like a banana one, or more like a kind of cotton tree. There is a tree, not cotton plant, a cotton tree. So this is a very good kind of cotton, but the problem is the tree is huge, and the flowers will be red color, and when it comes as a fruit and it bursts, in Rishikesh we had this next door, and it normally bursts during the monsoon season when the sky is black. These white flowers will fly everywhere. Look, white cotton things, this spongy things, it will fly everywhere. It will look so beautiful. The thing is, this also similar kind of, this also has a similar kind of fruit and a similar kind of cotton filled inside. Some people use it for pillow, but it's very difficult to collect so many. Anyway, the thing is, they have good flowers. Flowers means it's not single flower thing. It's not like rose. It'll like forest rose, bunch of flowers, not single flower. Okay. So bunch of flowers it will come. Though it has bunch of flowers and a lot of fruits, but still it's useless. Women don't wear it on their head. Though it looks so beautiful, they don't wear it on their head. So, like that, though it flowers and fruits, we don't accept this crown flower tree. Similarly, we should not accept this king, even though he may be rich, or this person whom we want to serve. He may be rich, but we should not accept him. Rājamātari devyāṃ ca kumāre mukhyamantriṇi purohite pratīhāre sadā varteta rājavat. rājamātari devyāṃ ca kumāre mukhyamantriṇi purohite pratīhāre sadā varteta rājavat. Rājamāta means the king's mother. Okay. With king's mother, devyāṃ. Devi means Rajadevi, the queen. The queen who is a coronated, kind of the main queen. Okay. And other ladies also. Kumāre, Rajakumara, the prince. Mukhyamantriṇi, and the chief minister. They will have so many ministers, but only few are considered chief. Okay. So with that chief minister, purohite, Rajaguru. Purohita means the priest, but here priest means the Rajaguru. Okay. With Rajaguru, pratīhāre, with the doorman. Pratīhāre means the doorman, the peon kind of in the office. So with all these people, varteta sadā rājavat, you have to treat them like a king. Like you interact with the king the same way you have to interact with these people, because if they put a bad word to the king regarding you, you are lost, you are gone. So you have to be very careful with while transacting with these people. The mother of king, the queen, the prince, the chief minister, the family guru, and the servant, the doorkeeper. Okay. Jīveti prabruvanproktaḥ kṛtyākṛtyavicakṣaṇaḥ karoti nirvikalpaṃ yah bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. Jīveti prabhuvan yah prabhuvan proktaḥ kṛtyākṛtyavicakṣaṇaḥ karoti nirvikalpaṃ yah sah bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. Now, see, he was saying you have to be this, you have to be that. Okay. I asked you, do you know how to serve? You said, I know how to serve. You are not spoken about that. Now he is talking about how to serve. So here, jīveti prabruvan proktaḥ kṛtyākṛtyavicakṣaṇaḥ proktaḥ nirvikalpaṃ yah karoti. Jīveti prabruvan. Jiva, chiranjeevi bhava. God bless you. By saying that, chiranjeevi bhava, dirghayur bhava means live long. After blessing like that, kṛtyākṛtyavicakṣaṇaḥ. Kṛtyākṛtyavicakṣaṇaḥ, the person who knows what is right and what is wrong. When that person says something, proktaḥ, whatever he says, nirvikalpaṃ yah karoti. Without thinking, one who does. Meaning, who is this kṛtyākṛtyavicakṣaṇaḥ? Who is this expert who knows that what is right and what is wrong? A person who knows what is good for the king and what is bad for the king. If he is trusted by the king and you trust him for the king, then you have to listen to him without questioning him. If you do that, bhavedrājavallabhaḥ, you will become dear to the king. prabhuprasādajaṃ vittaṃ suprāptaṃ yo nivedayet vastrādyaṃ dadhatyaṅge bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. prabhuprasādajaṃ vittaṃ suprāptaṃ yah nivedayet vastrādyaṃ dadhatyaṅge bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. prabhuprasādajaṃ vittaṃ. Prabhuprasada janita vitta. Jam means janita, born out of. Prasada means pleasantness, happiness. Prabhu, the king, because he is happy, vittaṃ suprāptaṃ. He gives you something, some wealth, some money. Suprāptaṃ. You receive it nicely. And nivedayet, you have to show that you are pleased. Like, I remember this example in Rishikesh, they call this bhandara. Bhandara means they invite the sadhus and feed them. After feeding them, they will give some money. Earlier, it was 5 rupees, then it became 10 rupees. That was the standard amount they used to give. And then, if it is some rich person giving the bhandara, he will sometimes give 50 rupees or something. 50 or 100 can be a very rare thing it is. So, some sadhus who have as a business of going to these places, eating and taking money, if they see the person who is doing this bhandara, this sadhu service, who is spending the money for feeding them, if they see him and if they think, they understand, they know that he is a very rich person, they'll say, even though he has given them 50 rupees instead of 10 rupees, they'll say, oh, this fellow is so rich, he could give 500 rupees, why 50 rupees? They are not satisfied. They are never happy. So you should not be like that. You should immediately show your happiness. If king gives you something, you should have to show your happiness. And that you are pleased. And vastrādyaṃ dadhatyaṅge, if the king gives you some cloth, etc., then you have to wear it. Oh, this is the dress you gave me yesterday. It is very comfortable, very nice. You have to say that. You will be very pleased. See, this I see now some Western idea here in India also. See, with old generation people, if you give something, they'll immediately open in front of you. They'll see how good or how bad it is. And the current generation people, they feel it kind of a shame to open it in front of another person. It is something which is a shame for you. Okay? So they don't. Once you go out of the door, they'll immediately open, but not in front of you. And the old generation, they don't have these kind of complexities. They open it in front of you. And this young generation, they'll say, oh, no, stop. Video, why are you doing this now? Later. The thing is, India had this kind of activity earlier. In Japan, you can see this. It's a tradition. If you are given some present, you have to open it in front of them and see what they have given, and you have to appreciate or whatever that is. If you open it in front of them and appreciate it, Even the opening itself is good for them, even without appreciation. If you appreciate, it's better than. Okay, so they are happy. If you don't open it, if you receive it and you keep it aside, then they are hurt. They think that you didn't like that present, things like that. In India, that is how it used to be. So if the king gives you something, you wear it. If he gives you a dress, you wear it immediately next day or something, and show it and show you are pleased and you are happy about that dress. Otherwise, what the king will think is, oh, this fellow has a lot of dress probably because he has. What happened to the dress? Oh, I kept it in my bureau. Yes, it's in the almirah. Oh, this fellow has a lot of dress. So next time I will not give you. So he'll stop giving you. So you have to show you are pleased and you have to wear it. Okay. Antaḥpuracaraiḥ sārdhaṃ yo na mantraṃ samācaret na kalatraya narendrasya bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. He said, I have learned how to serve the king when I was in the lap of our father. I was playing in the lap of our father. Now he's displaying his knowledge regarding this serving the king or master, whatever. See, you don't need to take it as the king. There is no king here now. But your boss, your master, whoever it is. Okay. Antaḥpuracaraiḥ sārdhaṃ yo na mantraṃ samācarayet na kalatraiḥ narendrasya bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. Antaḥpuracaraiḥ. Antaḥpura means the bedroom. Okay, the bedroom chamber of the king. Sārdhaṃ, bedroom chamber means where the queen and the other ladies stay. Not individual. They don't have that kind of, even if it is. So we are talking about the chamber where he enjoys with the other ladies. So that place, that chamber is called as antaḥpura. Okay. Now, the people who serve the queen, they have a particular kind of servants, and there may be friends along with her, and along the queen's friends I'm talking about, and there may be the bodyguards, because it's in the kingdom, right? It's in the palace. So the bodyguards also in Chanakya Niti Shastra, Artha Shastra, he clearly says you should only have a woman bodyguard or a eunuch as a bodyguard. Never a man as a bodyguard in the bedroom chamber. Never. So if there are people who are there working in that chamber, right, with sārdhaṃ, with them, yona mantraṃ samācaret. Mantra means guhya bhasha. You should not have any secret chat with them. You should not talk to them. Secret chat or talk, because it will create suspicion among people. Why is he talking to those people inside who are living inside the chamber? There is some problem. We have to find out. So you will be marked as a suspicious person. So, and na kalatraiḥ, especially narendrasya kalatraiḥ, not with the king's wife. Never go and talk to her. If she asks something, you have to answer. That's a different thing. But you should never initiate a talk and start friendly chat with her. Bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. That person becomes close to the king, dear to the king. Vittaṃ yo yamadūtābhaṃ hālāṃ hālāhalopamāṃ pasyed dārān sākārān bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. Vittaṃ yah yamadūta ābhaṃ hālāṃ hālāhalopamāṃ pasyed dārān sākārān bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. Bhavedrājavallabhaḥ, again same thing. He becomes dearer to the king. Who? Vittaṃ yah yamadūta ābhaṃ. Vittaṃ means the casino kind of play, all that. Okay. So yamadūta ābhaṃ, whatever betting. Vittaṃ is betting. So the betting games, whatever is the betting game, yamadūta ābhaṃ, you should have to see it. One who sees it as a yamadūta ābhaṃ. Yama means Lord of Death. Dūta means his people, messengers. Ābhaṃ, similar to the messengers of Lord of Death. You should have to stay away from them, from the casinos and where they play through bets. Okay, and halam, hala, hala upamam, halam. Hala means a liquor, alcohol. Alcohol, upamam, similar to hala hala. Hala hala means the poison, the most deadliest poison. Shiva's neck, if you see, all the body will be in different color. The neck will be always colored in blue. It is blue because Shiva drank this hala hala poison. Hala hala poison is the most deadliest poison accepted in the Shastras. This is produced when they started churning the ocean, Milky Ocean, with the Mandara mountain under this Vasuki serpent. When they were churning, using the Vasuki serpent as the thread to churn this, using this mountain. So what happened is, it's a snake. So when they were pressing it so tightly to churn it, it started releasing the poison. So that poison was so dangerous, it's so deadly for this whole mankind. So the gods, they went to the deities, the devatas, they went to the Shiva and they prayed him. So Shiva took it as and drank, took it as a gift and he drank it. And before it enters his body, Parvati grasped his neck. She stopped it in there. So that is the halal, the most deadliest poison. So you have to see the alcohol as the most deadliest poison. And daran vrthakaran pashyet. Daran, the women, vrthakaran as a useless form, meaning you should not normally people interpret as some ugly or cheap or something like that. No, she is of no use for you. That is how you have to see it. We are not talking about your wife or family members. No, we are talking about the other women, because through this betting games, through this alcohol, or through this women, somebody can trap you. And if you are close to king, they will trap the king also. You will become an enemy to, you will become dangerous to the king. So if you are against all this, and king sees that you are against all these things, then rājavallabhaḥ, you become dearer to the king. Okay? Then yuddhakāle'graṇīryaḥ syāt sadā puṣpaphalo'pi pure prabhuprasādajaṃ harmye sa bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. Yuddhakāle agragah yah syāt sadā puṣpaphalo'pi pure prabhuprasādajaṃ harmye sa bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. Yuddhakāle, during the time of a battle, war, agrago yah, you should have to go in the front. You have to go before the king and protect the king. One who does that, yah syāt sadā puṣpaphalo'pi. And the other days, other times, you should not go always in front of the king. No, you should always go behind the king. You have to follow the king. The king or the ministers, you have to follow them, because their ego will be hurt if you are going to go before them. Okay? Puṣpaphalo'pi, you have to be behind them. And prabhuprasādajaṃ harmye. Harmye is probably a word from which the word harem got derived. But harmya here is not a harem. Harmya is the palace. Harmya means palace. Okay? prabhuprasādajaṃ. Prabhu, the king's harmya, in the king's palace, dvara. Dvara means the gates. Okay? So dvara, you have to stand behind the gates. No, not that meaning. Probably that is how people interpret it, but that is not how it should be. You should have to walk alongside the king. You have to be close to the king. That's the idea. Dvara means you have to be close to the king. When you do that, during the battle, you have to be before. In the normal periods, you have to be behind him. And during the other periods, in the palace, you have to be alongside him. So, sa bhavedrājavallabhaḥ, he becomes dearer to the king. Okay? sammato'haṃ vibhor nityam iti matva vyatikramet kṛtyākṛtyavicakṣaṇaḥ maryādāṃ sa bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. sammato'haṃ vibhoho nityamiti matva vyatikramet krichreshu api na maryādāṃ sa bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. Sammato'haṃ vibhoho nityamiti. Vibhoho nityam sammato'haṃ. So whatever the king does, I am with him. With this idea, matva, with this idea, kṛtyākṛtyavicakṣaṇaḥ api na maryādāṃ vyatikramet. Kṛtyākṛtyavicakṣaṇaḥ, kṛtyā means a difficult time, difficult period. Na maryādāṃ vyatikramet. Maryāda means the limit. Na vyatikramet. You should not go beyond the limit. You should not cross your limit. If you don't cross your limit, if you don't cross the respect, if you don't disrespect him, then sa bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. He become closer to the king, dearer to the king. The idea is, see, you are going with the king. Now you are in the palace, you have to be along beside the king, right? That's what was said. When you go there, like let us keep it as a boss, okay? You are in the boss's house, and the wife of the boss is mistreating him, and there is a fight or something. You should not interfere. You should have to go out. You should have to give them space. Okay. If the boss wife is mistreating him, she bosses around, then seeing that, anyway, if I'm going to say something, this fellow has to take permission from her. So instead of taking permission from him, let me take permission from her directly. So if he supersede, vyatikrama is superseding. If you are going to supersede, even in the hierarchy of an office, if you have an immediate boss and she has another immediate boss and he has another immediate boss, that is a linear line of bosses. Then instead of saying my boss, immediate superior, if I'm going to go cutting across the line, then that will be a problem. You should never do that. Then that person will become dearer to the boss. Dveshi dveshaparo nityam ishtānamishta karmakrit yo naro naranathasya sa bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. Dveshi dveshaparo nityam ishtānam ishtakarmakrit yo naraha naranathasya sa bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. Naranatha, nara means human being, natha means lord of humans, meaning the king, the boss. Dveshi, whoever hates him, with him, oh, you are an enemy to my boss. You have some personal problems. That has nothing to do with me. We are friends, kind of. No, you should never treat them as a friend. So who is enemy to your king, you should treat them as your enemy. Ishtānam ishtakarmakrit. And who is close to the king, with them you have to also do whatever is likable for them. So you have to hate the people who hate the king. You have to love the king, the people who love the king. Okay. Now, if it is someone else who loves the king, meaning along with them, then if you are interested in that position, then you have to do all the cunning activities, but you should never show it. That's the idea. Yo naro nara, whichever person practices this, he hates the people who the king hates and loves the people who the king loves, then that person becomes a dearer to the king. Okay. Proktah pratyuttaram naha viruddham prabhunācayah sa samīpe hasatyuccaihi sa bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. Proktah pratyuttaram na aha viruddham prabhunācayah sa samīpe hasati uccaihi na samīpe hasati uccaihi sa bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. Sa bhavedrājavallabhaḥ, he becomes dearer to the king. Who? Proktah viruddham prabhuna proktah viruddham pratyuttaram cha yah na aha. When the king says something, when the boss says something, when the lord says something, viruddham pratyuttaram na aha, when he is one who is not contradicting him, answering him in a contradictory way. If you are going to cut him off, if you are going to negate him, contradict his idea, then you will not be liked by them. And na samīpe hasatyuccaihi, and when you are in that service, you should never laugh out loudly. When you laugh out loudly, that is not a sign, good sign. People see it. Okay. So if that these qualities one perform, he becomes closer to the king. Yo ranam sharanam tadvat manyate bhayavarjitah pravasam swapura vasam bhavedrājavallabhaḥ. Yo ranam sharanam manyate tadvat bhayavarjitah pravasam swapura vasam he becomes dearer to the king. Who? Yo ranam sharanam manyate, one who sees the battlefield or battle as a like his own home. I am going to my home, kind of. And bhayavarjitah, without any fear. One who is devoid of fear and one who enters the battlefield without any fear. Pravasam suravasam, and the foreign place, not his own town, another country. So puravasam, like his own place. If he sees that, meaning if you are going to another place, see, people from here, if they go to another place, I've seen many Tamilians doing this. They go there, they eat the same idli. The problem is, they'll start complaining, oh, the chutney, sambar, it's useless. How can you expect the same kind of chutney, sambar, which you get here in the side dish, which you get here in south, in some other place, even in another south of the country? You will not get it. Okay. And if you go to another country, you will never be able to receive the same food which you receive here. The thing is, if you have a preference of vegetarian, non-vegetarian, etc., that is the only thing you have to stick to, and that will be provided by the king, because you are going as a person along with the king, or as a person sent by the king. So you will get those kind of preferences. So, but still, you should be comfortable in that place, like you are comfortable in your own country, in your own state, in your own town. That is, if a person is like that, then the king will love him. He is dearer to the king. We will see this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.